So now we are on YouTube too. So hello people from YouTube. My name is Gabriele and I will guide this immersion here today. Today you're going to talk about ending a cycle. And let me explain a little bit how TNT works. TNT is a language platform for beginners, intermediate, and advanced speakers. All immersion meetings are not regular classes, so I'm not a teacher, I'm a student. And this is a place to practice English in a real environment, all right? So we have a topic to discuss about, we have questions to guide this discussion, and we have some rules to follow to make this moment more enjoyable. The first rule is to be respectful. So we need to maintain we need to respect each one to have a good conversation. The second rule is don't be afraid to make mistakes. So remember that here we are in a safe place, so feel free to make mistakes here. If you don't know some word in English, no problem, tell it in Portuguese. And the third rule is one of the most important, is to have fun. Okay? So I'd like to invite you, Tatiane, to introduce yourself to us, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tatiane. I am 36 years old. I live in Cosmópolis. It's a city of the state of São Paulo, near Campinas. I am married. I don't have child. I have two dogs, two female dogs, my girls. And I quit my job in April because I am in a career transition. Now I am a student to be a data analyst. So I am a student here in Talk and Talk too. I discovered Talk and Talk in LinkedIn and it's really nice. I started here in May, I think. And it's very nice. I like this platform, these immersions, and I think you are sad, Gabriele, because you are leaving us. Because I understand that you are here for a long time, so you are inside the platform with the people, and it's a special place. I think it's very nice. I like too much. So I think it is.
Yeah, I really like this platform. I really like the people that are here, and I don't have any how to say any bad words to say about this platform. I really like to stay here, and the only reason that I'm leaving this host position is just because I don't have more time to dedicate in the way that I really like to do, and I I miss a, a time in my routine to learn new things and things that are so important to me in that moment in my life, and this is these things that move me to make this decision. But it's not a personal, it's not a thing that and it's not a goodbye. Okay, it's like oh, it's to see you later, and like that I intend to return in another opportunity. And you, Abelard, can you introduce yourself, please?
Of course. First of all, thanks for the moments we had chatted in the last month. Thanks for you to be an amazing host here and to bring us some interesting subject to talk about. Well, my name is Abelard, but you can call me Abe. I am from Belo Horizonte, Minas Gerais, and I am a tech guy, actually unemployed. So I I'm here to improve my English. I think I am here since the February of this year. Uh, and what else? As a nerd guy, I like to play video game, watch series, movies, and I am the proud father of Bono Knox, my loyal 7-year-old French bulldog. He he is out, outside. I don't see he he near from me right now, but that's it. That's me.
Thank you so much for the words. I'm not cry. I'm trying to not cry today, but thank you so much for stay here and during this month, during the last month and the other uh, immersions that we participate together. And you, Juliana, can you introduce yourself, please?
Of course. But before, I want to thank you for this time with us. It was very good to have you here. So now I'm gonna introduce myself. My name is Juliano. I am 21 years old. I study science and technology, and I unemployed now. But I am looking for a new job, internship in IT area. My hobbies are reading, listening music, things like that. And I think that's all about me.
Thank you so much for the words and for your introduction, Juliano. And last but not least, Sydney, can you introduce yourself, please?
Surely. I'm Sidney. I'm 39 years old. Like Abelard, I live in Belo Horizonte. I'm an accountant. Yeah, and well, in my free time, I like to read books, articles in English, watch movies, TV shows, and in English as well. Yeah, we hang out with my family. And about that process, uh, you are living, talk, Gabriela. I think everything in our life is a cycle, like that topic you brought today. And I think, to be believed about that things make in our life, that changes and that things that I think some beneficial things, all the things bring to us, it is one of the good things, the good activity. I want to wish you all the best and all the luck on your new projects, a new cycle.
Thank you so much, Sydney. I put on the chat my LinkedIn. If you can add me, we can maintain the contact and send message to each other. It's a good place to do it. So guys, let's move on to the question number 2. This question is related to the topic that we discussed about. Sorry, I don't introduce myself, guys. So my name is Gabriele, but you can call me Gabi. I'm 32 years old. I was born in the city in the south of Rio Grande do Sul called Pelotas. But 3 years and a half ago, I moved to Rio de Janeiro. So now I live in this beautiful city. I'm a food engineer and I work as a science entrepreneur. So I have my own company focused on ingredient solutions for the plant-based market. On my free time, when I have one, I really like to stay with my friends and with my boyfriend, hang out with them, go out to several places here like cinema, theaters, and landscapes, and place that we can enjoy the nature, because here we have a lot of it, and or just stay at home watching movies and series and reality shows and doing things like that. Take care of my plants. It's like that. So let's move on to the question number 2. I think I explained a little bit about the experience that I have when I decided to finish a cycle. But I'd like to know about you, Abelard. Can you share an experience where you had to end the cycle in your life consistently?
Well, of course, I think it was the time that I ended my marriage. I, I, how I say, I discovered that she was cheating me, so I decided to move out of our house and just with one backpack and my dog. So it was a peaceful decision because we live a good time together. We share a lot of experience. We travel around Brazil, and I learned a lot with she, and I don't have regret about this because as human we we are here to learn and evolve. So she was a part of my of she was a cycle of my life and uh, teach teach me a lot of life and uh, family things. So that's it.
That's so interesting to hear about it because I have a similar experience. Too, I'm not sure. I think 4 years ago, I have a boyfriend, and we had a great time. We only split up because we lived in different cities. I moved to Rio, and he stayed in Porto Alegre, and the distance started to be difficult to us. But on that time, we realized together that it could be better if we split up, even if we really like each other, but it's not enough to maintain the relationship in distance, you know. But I remember that it was a decision to finish this cycle, and I think both of us don't regret about it, and it was a conscious decision because it's not make sense to to maintain a relationship in distance and don't do things to change this scenario to stay together in one time, you know. So it's like that. And how about you, Tatiani? Can you share an experience when you have to end a cycle?
Yeah. When I leave my last job, I leave it there. I leave it. I leave it. The word is that. I leave it there for 10 years and a half. And I worked with my father, but I was a partner there too. It was a hard work because it's a company that need a lot of energy and a lot of hours to working to function of that. We had 12 employees and a lot of customers. It's a really good company. It is because it exists.
A company in what sector?
It's service. It's a turkey wash.
Ah, okay.
But we are we are we are specialists in to wash inside the truck, not just the part of outside, inside. My employees worked at, I don't know how can I say this in English, is a espaço confinado.
Oh, I understand. I think I got
Inside,
it.
yeah. So a lot of responsibilities, uh, really dangerous too. But I was there. I was there at the administrative and financial part, but I leave because I needed my father just being my father again, because I felt that I was missing him, because I couldn't anymore be in that situation. He is incredible, really, really good person and father, but there in the company, we were just disagree. Yeah, disagree in. We were disagreeing, and I was lost in him because I couldn't. So I quit. And I end a cycle because it was 10 years, more than 10 years. And now I'm here, a student, and I am loving to be home. I think it will be a problem when I come back for work, for a job. I don't know how can I do, but I will suffer when happen. So it is when I quit my last job.
I can imagine that it was a difficult decision to do, and it's not only one cycle that you finished, because you also decide to change your career, your direction of the career, right? So
Yeah.
we need to start a new chapter in your professional life, and this is brave, because I think when we decide to study something at university or in a course, I don't know, you, we imagine we imagine us in a position or in a type of company, but in the end, when we grow up and when we pass through a lot of years working in some area, we realize that, especially our generation, you you need to you need to learn new things. You need to develop ourselves in different words. So it's common to our generation to change the career. It's like me. I studied a lot for many years. I did master's, PhD, and these stuffs in uh, food technology and bioprocess. And when I'm coursing the masters and the PhD, I had the focus that I will be a, a research in a federal university. But at the end of my PhD, I realized that I really like to do other things in life. So, okay, I decided to be an entrepreneur, but in the same area that I graduated. But it's a change. It's a career transition, because I will program it to be one thing, and then I decide to do another thing in life. Let me ask to you, Juliano. Can you share an experience where you had to end the cycle?
Yeah, I think I don't have one where I had to end a cycle the conscious like way, do you know? Because I think I can have one example, but it's not about consciously. before was when I was working, was my first job, like a young learn, jovem aprendiz, you know, and I could learn a lot of things there and that company. And me and the people there, create to become real friends, and in my last day there, I remember the people there give it to me cesta de chocolates da Cacau Show, and the people there was talking to me, crying, and when I had to go because the contract ended, and there don't doesn't have uh other job to for me work there, so I had to go, so it was so blue because I could see the people that really like me, so I see my friend job there crying, I cried too, so it was so blue, but happens, and this thing just happens. I have other uh periods not like this, but when I see, for example, when I end my school, when I finish a course, because peoples, and one moment you gonna lost not lost the people, but you gonna, I don't know this word, but distanciar, because the place where you study, the place where you work, is the place help you talk with these people, So unfortunately, when you leave this place, maybe the you become distant, from these people. So yeah, and I think that's it.
I totally understand you, Juliano, and it's difficult to have other people in life that you pass through more time than the people that you are at work. Uh, uh, last weekend, my boyfriend asked me, where is the person that I pass through more time in my my routine? And I answer him that it's not him because we see each other at the Friday and the weekend, sometimes at the middle of the week, but the people that I stayed every day is the people that are at work, the people that are in my company. So it's difficult to it's difficult to assume that um, when you quit a job or when you change the job or things like that, uh, sometimes we lost the contact with the other people because every 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 person that have a routine and it's difficult to schedule things outside the work, you know. So it's normal that things happen. This distance is normal. And how about you, Sydney? Can you share an experience where you had to end a cycle?
Yeah, surely. I have two experience that I had to end the cycle consciously in my life. One, when I was teenager, I decided to change my school for a different school. It was also that second school was also far away from my home, but in the first school, I studied there for 10 years in a row, and I met everyone there. So I decided to change because I want to to meet different people, and yes, and to have different yes, to know different people with different ideas, different perspectives. So when I did that, I need to improve some abilities to approach with the new people, to make different friends, and it helped me a lot to, I think, to grow to see the things differently, the different way. Another story is about my first job in the accounting career. I worked in a company for 7 years in a row, and then I decided to change another company. Another company gave me an offer to work with them, and because that company, I mastered everything. I learned everything I need to learn. So I was very pleased about the people there, but I decided to change, and it make my career better, I think, because I I knew different things, different process. I had contact with different people, and some of them gave me a different ideas, insights about my career. So yeah, for me, it was very good. It made me because I became more mature with that changes in my life. So yes, so that's it.
So interesting, Sydney. Thank you for sharing with us. So, sorry, guys. Let's move on to the question number 3. Let me see, Tatiana. Tatiani, how do you recognize when it's time to end a cycle, whether in relationship, work, or personal growth?
About the same story, I recognized that I was sick and I was losing my dad. For it's simple. It's simple. And it was a hard decision. And I prepared myself and the company for 2 years to live there, to quit my job, because I needed to prepare the people to work in my function, in my, I don't know, function is the word, in my position is the best. And support my dad there, and my financial life. I needed to put my money, I don't know how can I say this, guardar, enfim. I needed to guardar.
Money.
Save, yeah. It's so easy. I forgot the words. Save money for this time to be at home. So it was a hard decision, but I recognized that it was the time. I couldn't stop the decision because it was hard. It needy, I think.
I can cap some things that you share with us, and in my case, some signs that show me that it's time to end the cycle is like that. For example, when I can apply it when I change the my when I change the way that I exercise my body, when I start to do some activity, and after a lot of months, I realized that it's not so good that at the beginning. So I feel like, oh, I think today I will not move my body that way. And these signs, when I start to, for example, when I when I realize that the things are not so good at the beginning, when I start to do the same thing, it's a sign that I need to change something. But it's not the case of the talk and talk. The case of the talk and talk, it's like that I feel like I'm suffocated of things to do in my daily life. And the other things that I have in my routine, I can I can delete in my routine, you know, because most of them it's related to my work. Because I'm in a particular phase of my work, you know. And for example, about relationship, it's like that. When I'm when I am in a relationship and the things are not work together, it's not the same at the beginning, and the person that are with me, it's not so, how to say, stay with them, it's not so good as the beginning, or the things that the person do with me, or the way that I feel with this person, it's not comfortable more, or I don't feel more comfortable, or I'm not feel so happy, and things like that. It's signs that I need to change. And about the work, it's like that. It's like a motivation when I don't feel motivation more, or when I don't feel engaged to do the things. I don't have plans for the future to grow in that work. So things like that change me, that I need to change and to end the cycle. It's like that. And how about you, Sydney? How do you recognize when it's time to end the cycle?
And I think firstly, I think we need to assess if something is making you feel good and it is helping us to grow or your improvements. If you can assess it, it's one of it's a good alternative to use. Other thing is, I think changes happen all the time. So it's important to try to deal with it as better as possible. And and also there are some changes that help us to become mature. And yes, that's it.
Thank you. And you, Juliano, how do you recognize when it's time to end the cycle?
I was thinking here, maybe I don't have enough experience to talk about, but I think I don't know when I feel bad about, I don't know, my friends. Maybe it's the time to uh you know recognize about it. As you said before, in the work, yeah, if you don't have more motivation, to work there, if I don't know if the things are so different and you don't have more comfortable to be there, I think that's it. I was thinking here, and I think that's all that I can say now.
Yes, I agree with you. And you, Abelard, what's your opinion about the signs that it's time to end the cycle?
Well, I think it's two types of recognize because in my case, I passed uh, one. It was when your body is screaming out about something, about a relationship or an environment. The other is when it's not growing or evolving because we are here to learn. We are here to readapt, to relearning, and keep it going as human evolving in the life. So, in my opinion, it's two scenarios. When your body screaming out about something, you maybe you be sickness, or in the other case, it's it is when you are not learning or evolving as human.
Good point, Isabella. I really like it. And guys, we discussed a little bit about signs to recognize when it's time to end the cycle. And now I'd like to discuss about the emotions. Sydney, what emotions do you mentioned it, sorry. You mentioned it before that you spent 7 years in a company and then you changed it to another one.
Yeah.
And we need to learn a lot of things in this new chapter of your professional career. And I'd like to know about you. What emotions do you typically experience when closing a chapter or ending a cycle?
Well, it will depend, but for example, in that case, I felt a mix of happiness and sadness because happiness because I was going to a better company with I think different professionals, and the sadness because the people I live there, I left there, they were a kind of family for me. They are very close, a kind of friends, and the and it will depend because in some moments we can. It also I think a feeling of nostalgia. It can happen in some moments when we miss miss some of them. Also in some moments we spend together. Some obstacles we overcame together. So yeah, it can be a mix of emotions, and in sometimes we can feel happiness, sadness, or nostalgia.
And about fear, do you feel
Fear, yeah, fear, yeah, fear. I think it's very normal, but I try to go on when we think about changes. Yeah, it's impossible to predict everything. So we have some tools in our hands, some things that we can combat that feeling, but sometimes it can overwhelm us. So yeah, I think everyone deal with it differently, and I think in my opinion, we must to avoid it and to make that fear control us, control our action and our future, our improvement.
perfect answer, Sydney? And you, Tatiana, what emotions do you typically experience when closing a chapter?
Again, about the same case. Now I'm feeling free. I'm feeling free. I am a little bit anxious about the future. It's normal because now I decide to start search a job. So I need to go again for the fight. But I'm really great. It's the best time of my life. I'm feeling free.
I totally understand you. I remember that some chapters that I finished in my life, I felt the same sensation of liberty and to have a I don't know to open to a lot of opportunities to came in. So it's so good this sensation. And you, Abelard?
I believe that depends too, as Sydney said. In my case, uh, depends of the situation. Maybe I can feel grief, as I shared with you in the beginning. I passed uh, for a period of grief, but after I see the good things I learned and share she, with her, and The other thing it's about gratitude. When you see the good things and the learning that you uh, achieved uh, in that cycle, you just be grateful for that.
Yeah, so some cycles in your life when we have this sensation of gratitude, and we just we just maintain with ourselves the good things, the good moments that we experience in this phase. I remember that it's similar that the situation that Juliano mentioned it before when I finished my PhD. It was a long time that I spent in the same laboratory for more than 8 years, and I knew that I need to to experience different things in life, different opportunities in the area of research, and but at the same time I feel so grateful to have this opportunity to spend this time with the group and to learn a lot with the people that are there, that was there. And until now, when I remember the time that we spent together, and when I remember when we work together and we are involved to the research project of each one, I always remember it my with my heart full of good feelings, because it was a great time. So this feeling of gratitude it, it happens because sometimes we have special chapters in our lives. And you, Juliano?
Um, I think can be a mix of feelings because, for example, if you understand that you need leave and change your chapter, maybe it's gonna be happy for you because you are change your chapter of your life, but sometimes can be blue, bad because you you need leave it, but you don't want to, so it can be bad for you because sometimes you need just go, but you don't want, so it can be blue. And fear, because sometimes you end a cycle to go to other cycle totally different. One example is when the people gonna change your profession, your job, some people work, I don't know, if to work with a job totally different, and he wants change for other type of job totally different. So and this time can be a little, I don't know, the people can feel a little fear because he have fear to this plan doesn't happen, don't happen. So this person can be feared about the future. So I think can be a mix of feelings, but depend each situation.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Depend of the way that the cycle ended. Guys, unfortunately, we don't have time to discuss all the questions that I put on the chat. But I'd like to move to the question number 9. I think it's an interesting one. Sydney, can cycles truly end, or do they transform and continue differently?
Let me see.
Depends on.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because two things. Sometimes when you end a relationship, you both were husband and wife, or boyfriend and girlfriend, or another things, and you became friends. So that relationship was transformed. Uh, depends on like in jobs, at jobs, you can quit a job and came back like a consultor. uh, Depends on, I think, uh, always can transform things in another things.
I really like your answer, Tatiana. Thank you for sharing. What do you think, guys? Do you think that cycles to really end, or they transform and continue in a different way?
I think that Tatiana said many things important. It depends the perspective and the viewpoint. When you change a company, for example, we can come back that company in the future in another position. Also, the people who work with you can go to another company and call you to work with them. So yeah, it can be a different, it's a transform. It can transform, and it yeah, depends the viewpoint and the perspective.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Sydney. And you, Juliane, what do you think about this question?
I think depend too, because sometimes when I think uh, in end of the cycle, we think it's a bad thing, but sometimes can be good things, you know. For example, now maybe one person are dating, but after the cycle end because this people gonna get married, you know. So one cycle end, but other cycle begin, but it's let me see, continuando, you know, so does don't ending. So I think it depend, because maybe one cycle end, but other cycle begin to keep, you know, the same with the same people or in the same place, you know.
Yeah, it, the things are not static, you know, and even in a relationship, or if you are in a job for a long time and you really like to stay in this job, we have different stages in this place or in this relationship. The things evolve, needs to evolve in as a person or as the relationship or in the work. So as you said, maybe relationship relationship that turn in a marriage, it's a end of the cycle and start a new one. In the same ways, when you are in a job and you get a promotion, and then you grow with the company. So yeah, the the cycle will transforming and or ending and to start a new one. It can depend of the situation. So, and you, Abelard, what do you think about the question number 9?
Well, I think that depends too. When we thinking about cycles that involves other people or an external agent, it's good. Depends. It's good, it's bad, but it helps us to evolve. But when we thinking about ourselves, it's a continuing thing that we can transform and keep evolving, keep it transforming. As I said before, we as humans uh, has have the ability to adapt and evolve in the environment. So uh, when we think about us, we we transform ourselves. But when we think about cycles that uh, involved in external agent, we had to real end this cycle and keep doing our cycle. Our personal and life cycle, I think.
Point of view, Abeilad. Thank you for sharing. Guys, unfortunately, we don't have more time to continue the discussion. I put on the chat a survey about this immersion, so you can access the link and put a note from 1 to 10 and put some comments. Just to know about what was the experience to you about this immersion. And after this discussion, I realized that it's not an ending cycle here. It's like a different stage. So I intend to return here and to participate in other in other immersions here as a talker. So I totally sure that we can see each other again. It's not the end of the things, you know. It's just a pause as a host and continues this time talking as a talker here. So it's like that. So I don't like how to say goodbye. So it's not a goodbye. It's just to see you later, and we can see you again in another opportunity here at the same place. Okay, guys.
Bye.
So thank you so much for your time, for staying with me. Have a good weekend, a good beginning of the new week, and bye bye. See you.